born from the union of life and the moon. His very first cries sang out as a tune, tearful and painful as sorrow rang out, and the very next moment a scream and shout. The young god grew older and his power developed, and anger and sadness, the world was enveloped. The regal gods began to feel their hearts stirring and despised him when their judgment was blurring. When Peleus was melancholy, all the people stooped. When Peleus was lonely, all the people grouped. When Peleus was fearful, every god would cower. When Peleus was disgusted, every god would glower. When Peleus was vengeful, all the people fought. When Peleus was thoughtful, all the people fought. When Peleus was content, every god would rest. When Peleus was grateful, every god was blessed. Unable to resist his fluttering emotions, the god began to believe the hateful notions, loathing himself off. Coward the young boy, and the world forgot that he first brought us joy. To be like Echo, always calling out, but never heard. To be like Midas, always reaching out, but never touched. To be like Medusa, always seeing, but never seen. To be like Prometheus, always beneath the sun, but never warm. To be like Isis, always sneaking but never finding. To be like Ra, always to travel and never to rest. To be like Thoth, always learning but never knowing. To be like Bastet, always protecting but never protected. To be like Fenrir, always bound and never freed. To be like Holdra, always to love but never be loved. To be like Bragi, always to play but never to listen. To be like Ymir, always to create life but never to live. The water roars and the earth shakes. The wind blows harsh and the thunder crackles across the sky. We are okay. We have nothing for them to break, says the mother and the father as their young began to cry. They are still there. The gods will not die. Unlike you and like I, Poseidon angrily stirs up the ocean. His trident stand and fall. Zeus strikes down mighty skyscrapers like they were nothing at all. The gods rain down with their resentment. If only mankind had not been so foolish. If only had simply given a compliment, they would be stuck. They wouldn't be stuck in their wrath. Everyone's so quick to blame my tenderness, my wound, opening like a mouth to kiss an arrow's steel beak. A beautiful man now plants his face in Trojan and white. I tell the secrets of his body, make the ground red and with truth, red with the death of Achilles, felled by an arrow's bite when nothing could puncture his Kevlar skin. Everything skips ahead to the moral. Don't be a heel, for just one day I felt a sun where the chaff and bounds. A sandal should have been without me. He just more fodder for the cannon. I made him a hero Troy's poster boy. Everyone forgets I was part of him. I needed him. That even as he died, I tasted each pulse that I could and not hold back its rush of red. Birds or the season to which they flew. Orpheus can never look back at the real woman trailing behind him out of hell, the woman that anybody could see with ordinary eyes. Orpheus must keep his eyes firmly fixed on the imaginal Eurydice before him, towards whom he has struggled all his life. She is not imaginary, not at all, but realer than any mere apparency than any monetary act of seeing. He must move always towards the perfect image of his wife, and so sustain himself in a song. If ever he turns back, that it regresses into seeing his wife as an ordinary woman. She is lost and he is lost. Greek mythology, Orion the hunting one, a second brightest star, as the rest of the crew had been lost. I alone was a afloat on the sea. I believed it was thanks to the fates, and they, the thread of my life. I was free, a dread dog, shadowy flame of death, guardian protector of the ancient doors, wherein lies the underworlds beneath breath. So beware the craggy shores of hell, where sleeps the hound of Hades, a deity of Greek myths, descendant of Greeks, great Zeus, Demeter, birthed the sun, dwelled on Mount Olympus. The vine-is god of wine, devoted to vino, a drama enthusiast, embalmed, and the roots beneath the Methuselah muffled her still cry. Off the lamp-pit stony mouth plugs, eyes rolled by white strix of each cup in the seas, incoherences. You house your unnerving head, a gabble limbs of mercies, your stooges plying their wild selves, and my knees, my keel's shadow pushing by like hearts, a reg stigmata at the very center, riding the riptide to the nearest point of departure, a clue, a thread unraveled that pulls me back away from the scene where I had done battle. Other heroes are God, touched their fathers' powers aiding them. Sore and wounded, I retrace my steps. The heartstring of my love will pull me through. Gorgeously grateful God, gorgeously graceful God, a governor of the sun, a glowing with pop posy, a grand music symphony, a glorious guild of arts, a gallant, a global healer, a Greek, a grandeur Apollo, a thundering down Olympus, treads Ares, the battle master, ashen, Pisces, clad against midnight's cloak, returning human spirit to the heavens, for upon drowning within the crimson gaze, do we understand that in faith lies divinity as the most beautiful goddess Aphrodite, the ancient Greek goddess of love, beauty, passion, had powers, love, desire. Her lover Adonis died in her loving arms. Orpheus with his lute made trees, and the mountaintops that freeze bow themselves when he did sing to his music. Plants and flowers every sprung as sun and showers there had made a lasting spring. Everything that heard him play, even the billows of the sea hung their heads and then lay by. And sweet music is such art, a killing care and grief of art. Fall asleep or hear and die. The woods decay and fall. The vapors weep their burthen to the ground. A man comes and tills the field and lies beneath, and after many a summer dies the swan. Me only cruel immortality consumes. I wither slowly in fine arms here at the quiet limit of the world, a white-haired shadow roaming like a dream, the ever-silent spaces of the east, far-folded mists and gleaming halls of morn. I feel the wings of the eagle stretch wide, the lips of my liver. I feel its talons. I feel its iron beak. I feel the enormity of its hunger for life, its thirst for flight of me and its talons and fly. Whoever said I was chained off that land spit, a stony mouth plugs, eyes roll back by white sticks, ears cupping the sea's incoherences. You house your unnerving head, got ball lens of mercies, your stooges plying their wild selves, and my keel's shadow pushing by like hearts, a reg stigmata at the very center, riding the riptide to the nearest point of departure. Come across the rainbow bridge to Asgard, where the Norse gods live. Odin is the ruler here. He strokes his beard, he shakes his spear, he keeps a pair of wolves as pets, and flies a house, a horse who ate with 8 legs. Come across the rainbow bridge to Asgard, where the Norse gods live. Frigga's queen, and she can see what every person's fate will be, and whether it will turn out well or badly, though she'll never tell. Come across the rainbow bridge to Asgard, where the Norse gods live. The strongest of them all is Thor, whose hammer causes thunderstorms. He crushes mountains like the flirt. Who has two goats pull his cart to work. Come across the rainbow bridge to Asgard, where the Norse gods live. Freya's husband roams the worlds, so she cries tears of solid gold and feathered cloak bore at her side. She goes to seek him far wide. Come across the rainbow bridge to Asgard, where the Norse gods live. Loki is the trickster god. He causes trouble, then he's off. And even Odin cannot make this really wicked god behave. Come across the rainbow bridge to Asgard, where the Norse gods live. Their world is full of beasts and swords, serpents, giants, magic wars. They feast and fight and feast again, but even Asgard has to end. So while there is still a rainbow bridge to Asgard where the Norse gods live, he was a Grecian lad who coming home with pulpy figs and wine from Sicily stood at his galley's prow and let the foam blow through his crisp brown curls unconsciously, and Holden, waving wind and boys despite, peered from his dripping seat across the wet and stormy night, till with the dawn he saw a burnished spear like a thin thread of gold against the sky, and hoisted sail and strained and creaking gear, and bade of a pilot head her lustily against a northwest gate, and all day long held on his way and marked the rower's time with measured song. Everyone forgets that Icarus also flew. It's the same when love comes to an end, or if a marriage fails and people say they knew it was a mistake, that everybody said it would never work, that she was old enough to know better, but anything worth doing is worth doing badly, like being there by the summer ocean on the other side of the island while love was fading out of her, the stars burning so extravagantly those nights that anyone could tell they would never last. Every morning she was asleep in my bed like a visitation, with gentleness in her like antelope standing in the dawn mist. Each afternoon I watched her coming back through the hot, stony field after swimming the sea lay behind her and the huge sky on the other side of that. Listen to her while we ate lunch. How can they say the married failed like the people who come back from Provence when it was Provence and said it was plenty, but the food was greasy. I believe Caress was not fallen as he fell, but just coming to the end of his triumph. Uranus has always been full of vanity. He adores looking himself. Thus, he ordered Gaia to accumulate his tears, millennia sobbing, millennia of days and nights being rubbed by Uranus's wind hands. All of it made Gaia able to be the homeland of the living things. Now Uranus involves his lover and be proud of their creation, watching us for their own recreation. Aphrodite, let down your walls. Aphrodite, help, I may fall. Aphrodite, I gave you my all. Why can't you reveal yourself to me as you did to all? Aphrodite, show me your eyes from that of the sky. Aphrodite, unveil your secrets from birth till high, till nigh. Aphrodite, give me your hand, the hand for mine. Show me your apple, the apple of gold, one from Paris to God you stole. I don't want silver, a slice, a speck, but all I don't want the title, the picture, the poster, who has it, who shan't fall. I want the Aphrodite enclosed by these walls, the one question and wondering when, how, and will she lose it all, the one running from the true sun and the real moon until she finds the deceptive light and masking night, the one cowering, fearing from her own might, her deepest insecurities burning bright. Aphrodite, lend me your ears and hear me speak for you. Were once at the bottom, but now you have reached your peak. Aphrodite, you don't need to be a radiant ray, just true to what you say. Oh, Aphrodite, to forget your plight, and let's dance till twilight as you mysteriously rose from the foamy depths of the sea and took out our sky, and you gently breathed through these pages and took my heart for a ride. Batches, let me drink no more wild our seas that want ashore. When our drinking has no stint, there is no pleasure in it. I have drank up for to please thee that great cup Hercules urged no more in thee, and there shall be daffodils given up to thee. Why do you follow me? Any moment I can be nothing but a laurel tree. Any moment of the chase I can leave you in my place. A pink bow for your embrace. Yet if over hill and hollow, still it is your will to follow. I am off to heal Apollo in the pathway of the sun, in the footsteps of the breeze, where the world and sky are one. He shall ride the silver seas. He shall cut a glitter and wave. I shall sit at home and rock, rise to heat a neighbor's knock, brew my tea and snip my thread, bleach the linen for my bed. They will call him brave, but give them to me the mouth, the eyes, the brow. Let them once more absorb me. One look now will lap me round forever. Now to pass out of this light through darkness lies beyond. Hold me but safe again within the bound of one immortal look. All woe that was forgotten, and all terror may be defied, and no past and mine, no future. Look at me, I am by forever. Greek mythologist, a poetic rhyme infinitist, spitting into the abyss my infinite syllable poetic mix. There I go, spitting never end, and I said, brazen citizens, philosophers and soldiers would gaze at my golden hair, my lovely face, grouped their steamy illusions, and follow my lightness in place. I, Medusa, fully human woman, the temple priestess, ravishing as sapphire, a faithful servant. Though these citizens would have me, I remain a virgin skin, soaked, sopped, carnips and lustral waters. I lay in scents and wine to pleasure my goddess, satin hair, a groom draped in garlands, flowering blooms, wrapped ribbon, crimson silk, flowing vestments of census, of splendor, withal displeasing. Athena, smitten with jealousy of me, her priestess, boiled the seas, formed by Athena's victory at the Acropolis, Poseidon's defeat at Athens' contest our victor Athena, a wise patron of the arts, skilled in the law, strategy, aid of army heroes and military. Poseidon, a god, protector of seafarers, master of earthquakes and horses, moody, unpredictable, bold, assault, violence, vengeance on waves. He'd Rome, set off to Athens from his Atlantis abode, never perceiving the catastrophe that wrecks a human woman. His hands grasp trident and fish, sea chariot splashes, pulled by the hippocamps. He appeared at my shore, plans to spite the goddess Athena, our champion adored, demanded me acquiesce to love making, rebuffs refusals, ignored of a virgin priestess, converted into a paria of revenge on the marble steps of her temple. He raped me, devastated me, forced me as his spouse. Shrieked sobs, cried out to Athena to deliver me, provide a flight mercy. I praying for forgiveness. Where was she whom? Where was she whom I served? Cries weak, cold, violated, dishonored, reefed, left abandoned. My life's work, award and honor. My goddess over men would fail in the end. Tolerance of his crime, her compassion she withheld, enraged by jealousy, cursing me ugly. Now Gorgon with venomous snakes slithering her where golden hair once hung, chicken legs, metallic wings, a cracked skin, a blood-flamed eyes, a lend madness to survive. She banished me to a distant isle of isolation, betrayed by God and goddess. I seek no new love. Multitudes of men sought to slaughter me. With my gaze they to stone would turn. I Medusa, though alive, hideously alone. Woe, born of blood of Hyacinthus, springs forth a resplendent violet bloom. hyacinth petals kissed by the morning dew that weeps, lavender tears of heartache, golden beauty, a whisper of an oracle, prophecy that drifts through the wind, a bearer of rue, your soundless scream, your cursed words that no life and no man would have faith. Sing to me, O sufferer of truth, where your heart leaves with augury like wind chimes, where your blood spills over earth, or a mortal peril that sets your body ablaze. Heaviness in my chest, as deep as a Tartarus, as sorrowful as Hades. Persephone lodged between my ribcage, longing to flee. Comfort only on the other side of these bones, just like Penelope. I cry, just like Odysseus. I try why, time and time again, the day begins. Time and time again, I stay within mixed feelings. The next time I sick steal and telling myself it will be temporary, but like Odysseus, hope is necessary. Pain blooming, just like Penelope. The sleep I am losing, and then the warm feeling, everything healing, just like Penelope and Odysseus and Odyssey. Hurt finally yielding beyond the weak, the wine dark sea, the glee, at times numb, however learn to accept and cherish, at times glum, however learn to love and bear it. Life is unpredictable, not always bright, but choices exist, not all right, just like Odysseus, sometimes despicable, but not waste time, just like Penelope to slowly die. It is not okay to be okay. It is okay not to be okay, because when it does turn out for the best, it will be worth every risk, just like Penelope, rapping infinitely. The boy with his golden eater wings, soaring away, not knowing what he'll bring, hand-built with beeswax and feathers out of metal from a father who tried to help. Now he's unsettled, both escaping prison. The boy begins to soar high, arrogance trailing right behind him, unable to pry. Closer and closer he begins to reach out until drip, 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 he begins to drop. He flew too close to the sun. His father told him not. Now he plummets to the ocean where his life will now cease. And that's the story of Icarus, now known as Icaria, and at sea, indeed, flanked by majestic stags beneath a canopy of cypress trees, quiver and bow primed. She draws her golden arrow, a shaft arcs through the forest. A goddess of the hunt, with her halo of gold, stands poised in her sheer threads as the mountains rumble, entangled, the woods echo, and wild beasts outcry. I am by forever, Greek mythologist, a poetic rhyme infinitist, lyricist, freestylist, exorcist, hypnotist.